Hey, if it like YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Dead Man's Chest. Okay, I've added a few more corals since the last update. I've added this beautiful green torch coral. Adds some really nice movement to the tank. The wife really likes this one, it's pretty cool. Looks great under the actinics as well. This is one of my favourites, the maize coral. Love the shape of this thing, and I think once it grows it's going to look really cool. Also fantastic under the blue LEDs. Really nice. Next up I picked up, not sure what kind of zoanthids they are, I don't know if they're like fire and ice or something, but yep, managed to get this nice little cluster of polyps, so really happy with that. Way better than the last lot I got and a lot cheaper on a. Also added this pussy coral, just because my son says we've got way too much green in the tank, so we got this. And this has a nice bit of movement to the aquarium as well, so really liking this. However, if it does get too big, I'll maybe just sell it on. But yeah, it's really nice. And next up, we got a green hammer. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really like a massive fan of euphyllias. However, I know that the tank's still a bit young yet for adding heaps of SPS, so until I get to that stage, I'm just going to get some really nice LPS in here just to keep things going until the water matures a bit. But yeah, I do like it, it is pretty cool. Okay, today's featured comment goes to Rich Dempster. Hi JD, I am brand new to reefing, so new I haven't got a tank yet until I move house. Lol. And out of all the YouTube videos I have watched, and there are a lot, yours is probably the best reefscape I have seen. It's amazing. I am in two minds what to get, the eaReef 900 Pro or the 1200 Pro. If you had the choice again, would you go bigger or stay with the 900? Thanks for the great vids. Well, first off, thank you for the kind comments, I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching my videos. Now, to answer your question, the 900 or the 1200. If I had the choice again, Rich, I would definitely just go with the 900, and a few reasons. Main reasons being, it fits my living room perfect, it fits the space that I've got perfect. It is my lifestyle. This tank is an absolute doddle to look after. It takes up literally hardly any of my time, unlike the bigger tank did. And to be honest, the 1200, although it be a really nice tank, for me personally, it's just not going to be worthwhile. So I've got no regrets. I am absolutely loving the 900, just because it still allows me to do my other interests, other hobbies. So it's great. If it was you though, I would suggest you go for the 1200. Just because it's your first tank and it's inevitable that once you start you're going to get addicted and you're going to want to upgrade. So if you get the 1200, that'll save you having to upgrade for quite a while. Because I did it myself. I started with a 5-foot tank. I absolutely loved it and thought, oh, I've got to go bigger, bigger's better, this, that, the next thing. Oh, okay. But to be honest with you, if I could rewind the clock, I would never ever have got the black pearl, because I just bit off more than I could chew, and I thought it was going to be awesome, but in reality was nah. It didn't suit my budget, it didn't suit the time available I had for the hobby, and in the end it just became like a full-time job just trying to bloody look after it. And in the end it kind of had the opposite effect to where I was actually starting to dislike the hobby. But this new eaReef 900 Pro has totally revitalised me and I'm absolutely loving it. So for me, the 900, for you, the 1200. Cheers. Okay, so the tank's starting to get a wee bit dirtier now, so it was time to beef up the cleanup crew. So I've added an emerald crab, or also known as a Mithrax crab. Now the lights was off. I've just actually switched the lights on just so I could grab some footage of him, because you hardly ever see him. And then I just caught him sneaking about this coral. He actually hides underneath it, and he stays there pretty much all day. I've also added some of these Nasaria snails, just because I'm starting to get a lot of crap and everything on my sand bed, and these guys are really good at eating all the detritus and start keeping your sand bed nice and clean. So I've added about 4 of these, not too many. Like I say, I'm just gradually beefing up the cleanup crew as I go. I've also added a sand sifting starfish for the same reasons, just to help clear up some of the uneaten food and detritus and stuff that's in the sand bed. And this guy will do an awesome job of that. And I wouldn't add a sand sifting goby just yet, because there's hardly enough life in the sand bed for it to eat, so it would just starve to death. So this is the next best thing. Okay, and I've added one new fish, and it's a royal grama, and she is an absolute stunner. Absolutely gorgeous. Love this thing. And I thought she was going to be like pretty much like 90% of my other fish that just hide in rocks and you never see them. But this little beauty, as soon as she was in, she came straight out and she's posing for the camera here. Really, really delighted with that, because I do know that they like to hide in the rocks quite a lot. But this one, nah, she's out and about all the time. To the left, that is our wee hidey hole. But yeah, stunning fish, and she's called Scarlet, after Scarlett Johansson, just because she's a wee beauty. So here's a wee look at the tank for the side, and you can see the new coral placement. I tell you what, it's great getting new corals, but my god, it's a pain in the butt trying to figure out the best places to put them. You spend as much time trying to figure out a nice location for them as you do trying to pick what you want. It's crazy. But yep, the tank's looking pretty good now. It's starting to look a wee bit more like a reef tank. Now, this pink Monty, pain in my backside. I moved it up in the previous episode. However, it started to bleach. It started to go white in various places. So before it was totally knackered, I just made the decision to remove it. So I took it off and I've glued it down onto this bottom piece down here, opposite where the green one is. So hopefully with it being down there, it's going to do a bit better. Now, I give up on it, so it's either going to make it or it's nae, so it can decide, but it's nae getting shifted anymore. It's staying there. It either grows or it dies. I'm done with it. But yep, so here's a look at the tank for here. It looks pretty good. I do realise that the torch coral's probably a bit higher than it should be in regards to the light requirements. However, it's out, it's been there for a few days now, and it's absolutely loving it, so I'm just going to leave it. And it does look pretty cool there, although that's the kind of spot I was kind of wanting SPS. So when I do eventually start getting more SPS, I dare say that will be moved or sold on, if I can find a nice location for it. But I do like it, it does look pretty cool. It's just moving about there, so it's great to have a bit of movement in the tank. Because, as a lot of you know, my wife's not really a big fan of the coloured sticks, as she calls it. For everyone else, that's SPS. Back to the wee problem I had with the hose, exit hose from my bio pellets. So I've got this piece of acrylic left over from when I had the filter socks on the Black Pearl, the 7-inch ones. So I decided to use that and modify it. So I've cut it all and drilled a few holes, and it absolutely holds it perfect. Now, Andrew, I believe, suggested that I put on a piece of pipe onto the skimmer with a bend. However, I did try it, but it didn't work because it was pumping too much water into the skimmer the skimmer's used to actually drawing in its a set amount of water for it to work, and the water that was getting pumped into it was just too much, and the skimmer just wasn't working right. It was just all over the place. So I had to come up with something else, and this is what I've come up with, and so far so good. It's working spot on. When I eventually upgrade the skimmer, I'll obviously change this layout, but for now this is working really well. So just looking there, so I thought I'll take the opportunity to change my filter sock, and I've cleaned out the skimmer. So we'll just screw this up here and out. That's it, nice and tight. So you can see I'll better look at it. So it works out pretty well, and it really makes a good job of holding that hose where it needs to be. I'll just get this back together. And get the lid on. It's tricky doing these things with one hand, like. There we go. Sorted. All clean for another few days anyway. So I'll just get some more filter wool into the little tray there. Okay, so here's that filter wool, and even though I run filter socks on the tank, you can see how much crap that this actually catches. It's quite unbelievable. Now, when I'm using the filter wool, I didn't actually buy this stuff because it's quite expensive. So what I do is I buy these cheap cushions for Asda, which in American terms is like Walmart, I believe. Yep, and I just use this stuffing. You just check the label, make sure it's 100% polyester. And yep, I just fire this stuff in, and it does the exact same job, and it really helps catch all the finer particles. As you've seen, it catches all the finer stuff that the filter sock's missing, and it does a great job and helps keep my water crystal clear. A little heads up, the competition that's currently running, the closing date is the 27th of March, so it's still plenty of time for you shipmates to get your videos in and win some of this sweet loot. Good luck. So the Blasto had to be moved because the pink Montipora was going into its spot. However, I'm glad I did, because when I removed it, on the back of it, the bit that I couldn't see, there was actually a single sphere of bubble algae growing. So I took the coral out and gently prised the bead off without bursting it, and put it in some Revive, gave it a nice clean up. So having to move that Monty has turned out to be a blessing in disguise. So without moving that, I would never have discovered that kind of possible disaster with the bubble algae. So really happy to have caught that at this stage. But just as a precaution, that's one of the reasons why I've added the emerald crab. So should there be anything else that pops up, he's going to be there to take care of it before it gets out of control. But yeah, really happy with how the tank's looking now. It's starting to look a bit more like a reef tank. Enjoying the LPS and the softies. I will be getting more SPS, like I said, but I'll wait until the tank's a bit more mature. So yeah, in regards to my fish, I don't know what it is, but they all stay at the Skull Island side. Nobody wants to go over to the drop-off.
The drop-off? They're going to the drop-off? What are you insane? Why don't we just fry them up now and serve them with chips?
That's what it must be. They're fair in case they get served up with chips. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for this episode. So thanks for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.